some guys, oh, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of this. And every video, yours truly is gonna do beer porn and drink beer from the region in front of you. You like that? So here we are in the United Kingdom, Britain, jolly old England, of course. You also have Scotland and Wales. The United Kingdom has long ranked with Germany as one of the two most important brewing nations in Europe. Yes, both countries drink a lot of beer, although by style they could not be more different. Now, essentially, it's I don't want to stereotype. You believe me saying that? But essentially, Germany, in the continent, the Pilsner style, they call it the lager style, the bottom fermenting yeast and stored for a longer time in cold caves and cellars. You basically have that style. This style, which most of the world drinks at this point. England, they have ale, right? Of course, which is the oldest style. At one point in Germany, all they had was ale too. So it's just that the English, the British stayed with, they just kept developing ales, whereas the Germans started developing the lager Pilsner style. Of course, there are plenty of German ales as well, but that's pretty much the definitive difference. And here you have a guy drinking one of my favorite British beers, which in the last 10 years I cannot find. Abbott Ale. Loved Abbott Ale. It was such a good beer. Can't find it anywhere. And that's something, unfortunately, I'm gonna lament the fact that there used to be a lot more British beers available in the States here. And they're almost, there's like a fraction of them. And I really, listen, Germany, that's my people. That's my mom's people. That's my favorite beer. That's the best beer in the world, right? But I always liked English, British, UK beer a lot too, and a lot of people really don't. So I would say that with the ale, the flavor, the British beer is kind of like, I always joke, like it's kind of like what the hobbits would drink. Okay, more rustic type beer, but deceptively complex. Okay, and more of the going for more kind of bready, toffee, caramel, kind of malty flavors, with the hops being sort of spicy, but not kind of like the spice you'd have at Christmas time for like the desserts, rather than the more bitter, astringent type stuff you get in some of the German Pilsners. But of course, they go over the idea of cask ale, right? Real ale, the beer that continues to ferment in the wooden barrel and is pumped from the with the hand pump. This kind of less carbonated beer, and most of the UK beers tend to be less carbonated. It's sort of like what I was showing you with the nitro cans for the Irish stout, for Murphy's or Guinness. It's the same sort of idea. And there's the other Michael Jackson. This guy was really, I mean, he's gone now, rest in peace, but this guy really went in. He cataloged so many beers from all over the world. Did a great thing, and of course the campaign for real ale, right? Morgoth knows about them. Really did a great job. So they kind of go over some of the styles. Obviously, the IPA, the style that has been transmogrified in this country into all sorts of monstrosities. But the original Indian Pale Ale, right, was just the stronger version of the old traditional English Pale Ale, right? It was sent to all across the empire, the 19th century British Empire, when the British Empire was the romance of the Victorian era, before the calamity of the 20th century. The India Pale Ales, right? They had to go all the way to India, right? Yeah, the ESB, a very good style, which you can't find anywhere. Probably one of my favorites, and there's no damn beer anymore that's an ESB that I can find, right? There's the Porter, right? The famous Porter beer for the London Porter, named after the porters, the guys that would, take the stuff off the ships. It was like eating food, right? And of course, the stout, the Baltic porters, the imperial stouts, the ones that went to, right, the Russian court of Catherine the Great, stronger in alcohol again, just like the IPAs, to survive the trip. So I'll just go on through here. Remember this? When you thought of British beer back in the 80s, you thought of Bass, man. Bass Pale Ale. This beer was everywhere. I can't find it anywhere. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone, mate. So these are some of the very popular beer brands. Of course, they talk about the different consolidation that has happened in the UK with the beer, like many other places. And look at these cool. I mean, the British style labels are always interesting, and look at the awesome hand pumps they have. Those look really cool. Obviously, I've never heard of these, but you can sort of see, like, their aesthetic, very different from the German. Right? Of course, Newcastle Brown Ale was another British beer, which still exists, although it's brewed in America for the American market. Apparently, that's blasphemy. And usually it is, but the American one, it wasn't that bad. And I saw a video of a British guy talking about the one in England they were putting caramel coloring and corn syrup in that. I'll take the American version of this, so thank you. Old Speckled Hen. Obviously, I'm going to do some beer porn later. And very interesting beer. The cask version, the nitro can version, is like a totally different beer than the bottled version. And I prefer the canned nitro version. Right? And just talk about all the consolidations and going through here. Of course, Scottish and Newcastle. They used to make a Scotch ale. I remember it was on tap. If anybody remembers Jack Dempsey's, not the real Jack Dempsey's, but the Jack Dempsey's right across from the Empire State Building in Manhattan. They used to have the Caledonian on tap. That was really good. Sab Miller, Heineken, Carlsberg, multinational. Here's another beer. This was a decent beer. Wells Bombardier used to be able to find it. In America, can't find it anymore. Right? And you talk about, of course, Young's, right? Is that Young's? Wells and Young's. They make the double chocolate stout. But right here, Fuller's. Now, they never had the Chiswick bitter here. It makes sense. It's kind of like a really low alcohol beer, but I'd love to try it. London Pride. This is everywhere now, okay? And it used to be around before, except it's now owned by Asahi. And it's not mentioned in here that Asahi bought it. But you only see London Pride now, okay? This beer, the ESB, this thing was so good. This we never had in America, but the ESB was an amazing beer. And the Asahi released this beer in America again. Come on, man. Yeah, like I said, and Fuller's represents fully the Southern England beer brewery. Really, really amazing. And of course, they're talking about also Young's, Wells and Young's. The double chocolate stout is pretty much the only Young beer that you see around here. But that's a pretty good beer, too. The bottle version, once again, tastes very different from the nitro can version. Green King, right? Green King, Abbott Ale. Where the hell are you? Where'd you go, mate? Oh. So, just going. Some of these are new. Of course, there's a huge, as you can imagine, there's a huge craft brew scene. More new beer, but I'm I'm the trad here. Look at these. Look at these taps, man. Look at these. Oh, tap handles. Look at these. I would come in. I'd say I'd have one of these. Then I'll have this. Then I'll have this. Going through. Of course, the other beer that you find, and this beer you always find everywhere. This is probably the British beer you always find in any place. Okay, Samuel Smith from Yorkshire. Look at these. The Tidy Porter, the Imperial Stout, the Nut Brown Ale. I did a video on amazing beer. Probably more carbonated, more like an American type beer in terms of its carbonation than most of the other British beers. But this is not a newfangled thing. This thing is historical, going all the way back. Dr. Samuel Johnson, right, used to go to the brewery there. Right. Look at that. Dr. Samuel Johnson used to go to Samuel Smith's Tadcaster pub, right? The Stone Yorkshire Squares. Man, really good beer. But we're sort of running down the. I want to mention some other beers too that are. There's one British beer, and like I keep saying, everyone stereotypes the German beer, the British beer, right? There were British beers that were really regional that were like most beer, whether it was in the continent or the English Isles. The beers are a snapshot in time. Beers are a snapshot of regionalism, okay? Like dialects, like everything else, okay? Like how they cook a certain food item. And the Theakston's Old Peculiar, they called it an old ale. It was probably one of my top 10 beers. Unlike any other beer from any other country I've ever tasted, and it is gone. It's gone. So, uh, this is I can't stand this. This sexism is horrible. Look at this, Dorothy Goodbody. Who is this? She's the mascot. What is this? All the beers are branded under the name Dorothy Goodbody from this. What is this brewery? Wye Valley Brewery. She's an imaginary person who's described in Wye Valley Brewery mythology as a hop grower's daughter. Oh, very saucy. Good thought. Look at this fucking. No, yeah, fuck the Yankees. No, don't never drink a beer named after those assholes. But yeah, the English beer. Really, all joking aside, man. The history. It is the mother country of this place I live in, regardless. And there's just something really from the aesthetics of how the stuff is labeled to, like I said, the beer itself. It definitely tastes like another world to me. Even if people in England sort of don't take it for granted. Who's this? Oh, you mother. Anyway, let's get to the beer porn. Yes. They got it out. All right, I got two good beers here. One from the southeast of England, from Suffolk, Old Speckled Hen, English Pale Ale. Okay, the version I like, the nitro version. Okay, the bottle version I don't like as much. And of course, from up there in Yorkshire, Samuel Smith's Old Brewery Tadcaster Tidy Porter. Right, and I got the appropriate glasses for them as well. So let's do this. I don't have a ton of time, so it's gonna be poured already. All right, the Old Speckled Hen. Let's look at that nice little caramel color there. Of course, the nitro can. It's not as carbonated. So let's take a little swig here. Yeah, it's right. They always say toffee flavored, very much so. Nice little hop spiciness, nothing crazy. The bottled version is not as balanced, okay, and it's a little more carbonated. This is the real deal, man. This has that caramel toffee, like fruity flavor, but not like a fucking summer beer, fruit American wheat ale or something. This really, like I said, this is like earthy. It's like deceptively modest. It has a lot of flavor, man. A lot of nice little flavor. Let's have some more here. Oh yeah, yeah, really good. And I think the cast version is a little weaker, so you can have more of these, mate. Really, really good, man. All right, the Taddy Porter. As you can see right off the bat, this has a huge head. This is one of the most carbonated British beers that there is. And of course, enough. I need to drink this. Good. Very dry. Okay. You can say it's the chocolatey. It's not as chocolatey as like a stout. Okay, it's a porter. It's kind of it's very satisfying. It's There's something, it's like bread. This is more like a bread than like the chocolatey sort of taste. Very filling. I'm running out of time. Mm. Mm. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Very good. And you see the white rose of York from the War of the Roses there. Nice little touch. All right. Good night.